All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Wahara Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the elder bishops, and the elders of the great millstone, and peace and salutations to the hopeful elect out there taller than this truth. I'm Bathaka Moth Jim S. Dallas. I'm just coming back at you with a really quick hit lesson, and I'm going to entitle this, Surveillance in Your Home. E wants to be the Most High. And the scriptures say that, man. You know what I'm saying? Surveillance in your home, man. As you can see on the screen, the brother Arrows of Indignation 144 put up this informative little video here about 12 hours ago. And it says, it's about 4 minutes and 35 seconds long. And it says, they are tracking you at your house, just in case you didn't know. So, yeah, man. And it's all a part, this is all a part of Esau trying to be the Most High. He's trying to be like the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Of course, on the left hand, and by left hand means, but, by way of his technology, which is going to become the majority of these people, you Israelites, you Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians of Negroid descent. It's going to become your God, man. They're going to truly believe in this devil and his system, which, of course, AI, his technology is all part of that system, man. This beast system, which is the image the image of the beast, a part of the image of the beast. So, I'm going to, again, entitle this Surveillance in Your Home. E wants to be the Most High, which the scriptures go into that. So I'm going to play this video. It's about 4 minutes, 35 seconds long. And then we're going to get into some scriptures. So without any further ado, copyright disclaimer.
They're watching you through your Wi-Fi now. Xfinity just rolled out something called Wi-Fi Motion, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It tracks movement inside your home using nothing but your Wi-Fi signals. No cameras, no sensors, just your router blasting invisible waves and reading how they bounce off your body. That's not Wi-Fi anymore. That's a radar. You walk across the room, it knows. You open a door, it knows. You sit still too long, it knows. It's a motion detection through your internet. And the craziest part, it's already built into the router just waiting to be activated. Most people won't even realize they've installed live surveillance in their own home. Xfinity calls it a feature, but this isn't smart tech. It's a silent wireless tracking system. And once your router can map your movements, you're not just connected, you're monitored constantly. This is how the surveillance state gets in. Not with cameras, but with conveniences. Not with force, but with features. And by the time people figure it out, the cage is already built. Are internet providers able to track your movements using your Wi-Fi? Yes. But so are you. Xfinity, whose parent company is Comcast, now offers a service called Wi-Fi Motion, which allows users in select areas to monitor motion inside their home using nothing more than Wi-Fi signals. Functioning like radar, the system depends upon special internet routers which have new high-performance processors. These powerful chips have the capacity to use AI and machine learning to analyze how the Wi-Fi signals interact when an object moves through them and to generate a motion warning and then push that to your phone. Currently, the tech is not that precise. It requires a special Wi-Fi router and it doesn't work with every setup. That said, it's still fairly new and refinements will undoubtedly happen quickly as the service matures. Generally speaking, Wi-Fi motion tracking has tremendous potential, but whether for good or evil has yet to be seen. Legitimate privacy and security concerns clearly exist. For example, will this let governments track citizens in their own homes? Could a hacker gain critical insight into security measures at a sensitive facility? Or will this simply be used to let you know when your Amazon packages have arrived or whether the dog has gotten loose in the front yard? What do you think the future of Wi-Fi motion tracking will look like? Okay, so check this out. Xfinity may have just reinvented home security. Now listen to this. They have some crazy new technology that actually is something you have right now. So they're going to use your router to detect motion. Yes, they're going to use Wi-Fi in your house to detect movement in your house based on the devices you already have. So your TV, your Echo, your smart assistant, your speaker, your smart speaker, whatever it may be, even a humidifier will be able to work on this. It is absolutely insane. It's not a gimmick. This is not April Fool's. I literally looked at this and I said, I have to find out more. This is legit. It's real. I just turned it on. I walked into my loft. My Echo detected I walked in there and I got a notification saying that I entered my loft. That is absolutely crazy. Wi-Fi motion on Xfinity is real. Woo! It's hot, bro. It's so hot, my brain is starting to get fried. I don't know if it's heat or if it's the Wi-Fi. Now, I don't know if y'all have heard, but apparently, with Xfinity, you can tap into this option to do motion detection with your Wi-Fi signal inside of your home at no extra cost. No cameras, no motion detection other than your Wi-Fi signal. Now, I've heard in some cases it's so sophisticated it can record the keystrokes on the keyboard. So if anything moves, anything that interferes with that Wi-Fi signal can be recorded and documented. Now it's available to you, and imagine who else is available to.
And there it is. There you have it, man. So, yeah, these devils are tracking you in your home, which is what this dude is all about, man. Tracking, things being documented that he can track you, man. And ultimately he's going to try to put a device in these people to ultimately be able to do that, which we'll grab that and we'll get into it. But yeah, man, surveillance in your home. And this is all a part of trying to be like the Most High, man, which the scriptures go into it. So without any further ado, let's get a couple of scriptures, man, and then we'll bring this lesson to a close. This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. Salakia. Boy, never fails, though. Ephesians, man, Ephesians 6. This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 4, and it reads, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called the Most High, or that is worshipped, so that he, as the Most High, sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High, man. You know what I'm saying? So these devils actually believe that they are equal or even above the Most High. What's that dude? Noah, Ural, Haradi, or whatever his name is. Can never remember his name. Small Hatter, as a matter of fact, he said if the Most High didn't give them rain, that they would create their own water, man. You know what I'm saying? And a very proud statement. These devils are very proud, man. And these things are all part of that whole him wanting to be the Most High, that God complex that he has, and he shows you that in everything. I watch like a lot of Twilight Zone episodes, like the old Twilight Zone with Rod Serling, and you can clearly see in a lot of those Twilight Zone episodes the God complex. In a lot of his movies, you can see that God complex. As a matter of fact, they created a game called the Sims game, SIMS. And it's a God complex game where you control literally everything, every movement. You make the character wake up, you make him go to sleep, you make him use the bathroom, you make him eat, you make him go to the club, you get him dressed, you do everything. You literally do everything, which is what the Most High is doing. He's controlling every aspect of everything in this movie, man. You know what I'm saying? And this is what Esau is trying to accomplish on the left-hand side, man. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to accomplish that. He's trying to be like the Most High, which the scripture just said. He said it in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High. You know what I'm saying? So he truly believes. As a matter of fact, let's read this in the NLT. This dude believes that, man. Let's change this to the NLT real quick, and let's read in the NLT. This is 2 Thessalonians 2 and 4 in the NLT, and it reads, he will exalt himself and defy everything that people call the Most High or God, and every object of worship. He will even sit in the temple of the Most High God, claiming that he himself is the Most High God. There it is, man. So, and that's what this devil is doing. He's a very proud dude. That's why the Lord told him in Obadiah, the pride of thine heart which is your mind, your lob in the Hebrew, had deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks. So we know who that is. You know, the people who came out of the caves, man. You know what I'm saying? Which called themselves Caucasians, you know, cave dweller. That's what that means. And they came out of the mountains of the Caucasus Mountains of Georgia, Russia, man, in these times. Now in the ancients, you know, they were pushed into Mount Seir, man. You know what I'm saying? Which today is Petra. You know, so if you look it up, you know, so they've been constantly getting pushed into them mountains and dwelling in them mountains and, you know, even in these times, you know what I'm saying? So we know who this is talking about, man. You know what I'm saying? It's talking about these demons, these devils, the so-called self-proclaimed white man, woman, and child. They're the Edomites, man. And these are the people that the Lord is speaking about. So let's change the Bible back to KJV. And yeah, so, you know, that's what these devils are proud, man. So they're trying to be like the Most High. They're trying to be the Most High, man. And this devil thinks that he's on the level of the Most High. He to the point where he's going to actually try to fight the Lord, man. Which of course we know the Lord is going to put that spirit on him to fight. You know, he was afraid, but yet durst fight. You know, the Lord's going to do him just like he did Pharaoh in Egypt, because these are the modern day. This is modern day Egypt, spiritual Egypt, and they're the modern day pharaohs, spiritual pharaohs. You know, pursuant to Romans the 9th chapter. You know what I'm saying? So. And of course, Revelation, the 11th chapter, you know, the great city spiritually known as Sodom and Egypt. So we know who these things are talking about and what it's talking about. It's talking about these Edomites. So let's get another one real quick. This is Isaiah chapter 14. And we're going to drop down to verse 14. And it reads, I will ascend, which is, you know, of course, we know Isaiah 14. That chapter is going into the king of Babylon. And when you read in this chapter in Isaiah 14, the king of Babylon, and he's just talking about Trump, man. You know, I watched a lesson by that Apostle Tahar did a while back, not too long ago, and he went into that, breaking that down. You know, it's talking about Trump, man. You know, he's the king of Babylon in these times, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's these titles that people are putting on this dude, the king, and you know, there's several points was being made, proving this thing where he had on crowns and all kind of stuff, man. So this, hey. It's talking, and when you read in Isaiah 14, this chapter right here is talking about Donald Trump, man, Donald J. Trump, man. And so when you read up, so it's Isaiah 14 and 14, it says, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. And there it is. That's a very proud statement, man. You know, but these devils are proud, man, and the Lord hates that pride, you know, and he's going to bring them down, man. You know what I'm saying? But this is what's going on, man. You know, this dude trying to be like the Most High on the left hand side by way of left hand means, man. You know, through his technology, surveilling everything. You know what I'm saying? And he's gonna soon try to put a device in these people. But this nigga got cameras everywhere on the stoplights and everywhere. So he's trying to be like the Most High. The Most High is omnipotent. You know, he's an omnipotent power. He's all knowing. He's all seeing. He knows everything. You cannot hide from the Lord. You cannot get away from the eyes of the Lord. You know, as a matter of fact, the scripture's going to that. But first of all, since I said that, let's get a definition of this word omnipotent. I had typed it in. Let's see if it's still there. There it is, omnipotent. And as a matter of fact, let's let him say it.
Omnipotent. Omnipotent.
Omnipotent, omnipotent, how, you know, tomato, potato. But it says dictionary, adjective of a deity having unlimited power. Yes, all seeing, all knowing. You know, it's unlimited. You know what his ability. It says able to do anything. There it is. You know. It says, and then there's a little thing underneath says, God is described as omnipotent or omnipotent and benevolent. So let's get some of these similars. And as you see, noun down there says God, but let's open up these similars. It says all powerful, almighty, supreme, preeminent, dictatorial, despotic, totalitarian, autocratic, invincible, unconquerable. So, of course, all knowing and all seeing. So hey, bro, these devils are trying to be this, they're to the point where they're going to try to fight the Lord when he returns. Bro, that's very proud, man. These devils are proud as hell, man. And the Lord is going to bring these devils' pride down, man. But, that's wanting to know everything, wanting to see everything, the cameras everywhere, the surveillance in your home is all a part of this devil trying to be the Most High and be all seeing and all knowing. So real quick, the scriptures deal with that as well. So let's because those are things of the Most High, man. You know what I'm saying? Which these devils are trying to mimic on the left hand, man. So let's get that real quick in Sirach. This is Sirach 23, and we're going to start at verse 18. Sirach 23 and 18. It reads, "A man that breaketh wedlock, saying thus in his heart, who seeth me? I am compassed about with darkness." Thinking that the Most High can't see it. These are things of Esau, man. Esau, that's the very thing he said. Who seeth me? I'm in this dark. Just like a wicked nigga that's trying to do some evil, some wickedness. And he gonna go in the dark. If he gonna try to break in your house, he gonna hide in the darkness. In those shadows in the dark. And there's a saying, evil lurks in the dark. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it says, "I'm compassed about with darkness. The walls cover me, and nobody seeth me. What need I to fear?" Ain't worried about nothing. What do I have to fear? No one sees me. The Most High don't see me. As a matter of fact, the Most High will not remember my sins. And this is what this devil thinks, man, and believes in his heart, man. You know what I'm saying? Which is his lob, his mind, that the Most High is not going to remember his sins. But let's get a couple of scriptures that totally say something different than that. The Lord sees everything. The eyes of the Lord behold. As a matter of fact, let me type that. That wasn't one that I had, but I know. As a matter of fact, Salakia, man. I want to get that. I want to. I don't know if it's worded like that, but let's see. Should have known it's gonna give me a whole. Is it in Proverbs? There it is. The Wadi Yabash Shah. This is Proverbs chapter 15 and verse 3. It says, "The eyes of the Lord are in every place, beholding the evil and the good." And the eyes of the Lord are the angels, the chariots, man. When you see them little orbs or they come in different shapes, forms, sizes, But those are the eyes of the Lord. Everything that these people are calling UFOs and UAPs. No, bro. Those are the angels and the chariots, the vehicles of the angels. That's how the angels move around. Again, they can shapeshift. They can change into different looks, sizes, colors. You know what I'm saying? So, and you got these dumbasses that don't believe. Man, bro, Jake is through, man. But that's another story for another day, another lesson. It says, Proverbs 15 and 3, "The eyes of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, are in every place." So you can't get away from that. This is what Esau is trying to be. Have his eyes everywhere by way of his technology, beholding the evil and the good. Like we said, cameras on the stoplights and different things, all kind of different surveillance tactics and techniques, now with Wi-Fi in your house, man, to survey you in your home, man, trying to be like the Most High. That's what this devil is doing, man. You know what I'm saying? So let's get another one, because his sins are not going to go unscathed. He's going to have to pay for these things, man. And here in Psalms, King David, this is what King David had to say about it. Psalm 109 and verse 14, it says, this is what he is, praying and beseeching of the Lord, begging of the Lord. Psalms 109 and 14, let the iniquity of his fathers be remembered with the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, and let not the sin of his mother be blotted out. So the King David is asking for them their sins not to be blotted out, for them for their iniquity, which is sin upon sin, to not be forgotten, man, to be remembered. He wants them to be remembered. And of course, we know that King David is a man after the Most High's own heart, man. That's the right-hand man of the Lord, man. So trust me, he's going to listen to King David, man. verse 15, it says, let them be before the Lord continually, talking about their sins and iniquity, that he may cut off the memory of them from the earth. And this was King David is asking of the Lord, man. So for them to think that he's not going to remember their sins, they full of caca, man. You know what I'm saying? So these things are going to definitely happen, man. You know what I'm saying? So it says, is that all I wanted? Yeah, we'll move on. We'll go to the next one. This dude is definitely, he's going to be, his sins are going to be remembered, but the memory of this dude is going to definitely be, as a matter of fact, let me read it again. Psalms 109 and 15. Let them be before the Lord continually, that he may cut off the memory of them from the earth. So the memory, that's exactly what's going to happen to these devils, man. They're going to be cut off, the memory of them. Nobody's going to, know this dude ever was upon the earth. So let's get it real quick. This is Job chapter 20. And we're going to read verse 8 and 9. Job 20 and 8. It says, he shall fly away as a dream and shall not be found. Yea, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. Verse 9, it says, the eye also which saw him shall see him no more, neither shall his place any more behold him. So these are the things that's about to happen to this devil. He gonna become as a dream. As a matter of fact, let's read this in the NLT. Let's see how this reads in the NLT. This is Job 20 and 8 in the NLT, and it reads, they will fade like a dream and not be found. They will vanish like a vision in the night. Verse 9, it says, those who once saw them will see them no more. Their families will never see them again. So they're going to be, which they ain't going to have no family, because that whole, pursuing the Obadiah, the 1 in 18, the whole house of Esau is going to be for stubble, for flames and stubble, fire and stubble, roughly paraphrasing. Fire and a flame and Esau for stubble, the whole house. That's the whole nation. So they're going to be, that's them being blotted out the earth, man, which there's more scriptures that actually go into that. I want to let's change this back to KJV real quick. KJV. And let's get Isaiah 14, because this is what the Lord is going to do to these devils, man. I'm going to drop down to verse 22. Well, we'll read verse 21 just to, Isaiah 14 and 22. Salaki, I'll start at verse 21. That's the point is in 22. Isaiah 14 and 21, it says, prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land nor fill the face of the world with cities. And that's exactly what the times we're coming into. These devils are going to never rule again. The Lord is going to return. He's going to take them down. Those many crowns, those thrones being cast down in Daniel 7. You know what I'm saying? I beheld till the thrones were cast down. All those scriptures are synonymous. Revelations 11, the many crowns upon his head, because he's going to return to take these devils down, man, the Edomites and the heathen left-hand rulership, and join their rulership. That join their rulership, Revelation, the 17th chapter goes into that, where they gave their power to the beast for a period of time, So for what was it, like an hour? As a matter of fact, let's get that real quick. Let's get it real quick. I don't want to mess it up. Salakia 17. And 15? Is it 15? Not 15. Who was that? Where they gave their power, their Salakia. Let me find this real quick. There it is. This is Revelation 17 and verse 12. It says, and the 10 horns, which the 10 horns represents the EU, formerly known, which is the European Union, formerly known as the ECC, the European, the EEC, Salakia, the European Economic Community. And these times they're the EU, the European Union. So it says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest, which there's more than that now, but it's the same thing. They're just trying to offset prophecy, which they're not going to be able to do. It says, and then the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. See, that's that joint heir left-hand rulership through these Edomites in this beast system. Those heathen nations that didn't receive that kingdom, you know what I'm saying? But they're receiving it through Esau's rulership, So now all of them are set up, and they basically kind of have their own kingship, their kingdoms. You know what I'm saying? They're ruling as well to a degree, but Esau is the head. You know what I'm saying? He makes the final decisions. You know. So, but that's that left-hand joint hair rulership right there. So let's go back to Isaiah real quick. Isaiah, what are we in? Isaiah 14. Yeah, it's Isaiah 14. And here's the point in verse 22. It says, "For I will rise up against them," saith Yahweh Shai, talking about these Edomites, saith Yahweh Shai of armies, "and cut off from Babylon the name and remnant and son and nephew," saith Yahweh Shai. And that's all the men. So if you're going to destroy a nation, you just destroy the men. If there's no men, that nation can't survive. It can't go on because the women bring forth the children of whatever man she's with. So if you get rid of all the Edomites, ain't nobody, and they're not bringing forth any children, then that nation dies, man, because their women are going to bring forth the other nations' seed, man. Which is going to further and forward that nation. So the Lord is letting you know this is the end. This is going to be the end of them, man. He's going to cut them off, bro. And as a matter of fact, in Job, the 18th chapter, it goes into it as well. This is Job chapter 18 and verse 17. And it reads, "His remembrance shall perish from the earth, and he shall have no name in the streets." Verse 18, it says, "He shall be driven from light into darkness and chased out of the world." So this nigga is about to get chased out of the world. They're going to be blotted out, man. That's what's going on. This nigga about to be chased out the world. He going to fly away as a dream, as we just read and also in Job. But before that happens, he's going to try to CHI to the P everyone, and that's in an attempt to ultimately, fulfill his want and need to be like the Most High, as the Most High, man. You know what I'm saying? Which he's not going to be able to do, man. But he's going to try, man. So let's end it off with that. This is Revelations chapter 13 and verse 16, and it reads, "And he causeth," which that word causeth means to make you. He's going to make you, and he causeth, and the majority of the nation of Israel, the Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians of Negro descent are going to be swept right into this. They're going to present this thing as like it's going to be an amazing thing, like it's going to be a good thing to have. You know what I'm saying? And after they get all the dummies, you know what I'm saying, those that still kind of holding out and rebelling against it, then that's when this is going to really kick in. You know what I'm saying? When he's going to try to make them, he's going to cause. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And he's going to do that by way of like taking your food from you. Basically, this nigga finna, make these people bow down, say uncle. You know what I'm saying? He gonna put them in a certain position. When you put people in certain positions, man, and then they have to make a decision. May have to make this decision. That's what's gonna happen, man. You're gonna come to a decision. You're gonna have to make a decision. Do you want to eat? If you want to eat, you want your life to get back to normal. Some form of normalcy, which Jake wants. All you got to do is take this right here, and that's what they're going to line up for it, man. You know what I'm saying? And verse 17 says, "And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark," which is that a charagma, man. That's CHI to the P, man. You know what I'm saying? That's C-hip, a device, that implantable device that right now, Kennedy, is trying to push. He's pushing to make that shit happen quick, man. So these devils on with this, man. It's not a game, man. This thing is going down. It's happening. It says, "Or the name of the beast, or the number of his name." Verse 18, we're just finishing on out. "Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. And we know that's the number of Esau, these Edomites, man. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. But yeah, this dude, all of these things are an attempt, which all these are leading to that. The things that these devils are doing is all leading to the charagma, man. But it's all in a feeble, mind you, feeble attempt to try to be the Most High, try to be like the Most High, man. So yeah, hey, but as the title reflects surveillance in your home, he wants to be the Most High. So hopefully this was edifying to the hopeful elect, giving all praises, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Wahab Kakwadash, double honors to the apostles, the elder bishops, and the elders of the great millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect, the house of David, the Bayath Shah Dawadah Shalom.